Hello and welcome along to season TGP2. We're back, things here, and currently by 3 points from AD. What those guys can do tonight. We're now just waiting. Apparently it says for the race start, but I'm not sure what's going on here. Jean-Luc Taylor.
It's looking like the start of qualifying, and we will be underway with the one that now.
Yeah, there we go. So
Here we are.
Let's catch this quickly. We'll go on board here with the championship leader Jack Pearson. You're not kidding, Jean-Luc Taylor. This goes like crazy. There we go. We are on board with Jack Pearson as he comes in now into turn 1. And now along down into the Degners. Degner went absolutely flat out. Jack does. Oh! And he does save the car, but that's going to have lost him a lot of time. As we see, Bart Dude and Erland are battling there for pole position at the moment, but we're currently running still with Jack Pearson as he's now coming up to the famous Spoon corner. We'll just check the times here actually, bring up the lap data, there we go, and now down onto this back straight leading up to the famous I was going to say Orus there, 130R corner. Absolutely flat out. Let's have a look. Yep, and he nails that. But he's currently in 6th place, so this is not the best of laps for Jack as he's coming through this final chicane and towards the line, Jean-Luc Taylor, and it looks as if Jack is in 6th, so Sir Lane takes pole position. Is that on this? That's on the soft art as well. Great lap there from Sir Lane. But we will get.
Yes, it seems.
Yep, so...
Sorry, jumping that. It seems Jack's mistake at the exit of Degner 2 severely costing off. A great lap by Sir Lanix though on the soft tyre. Bart Dude must have lost a little bit of time in the last sector because he was top coming down the straight towards 130R. And also during the lap we lost Goings who retired from the session, and of course Mike Noon had a quali ban. So we'll quickly run down the grid for you. Sir Lanix on pole from Erland, who's taken a great 2nd place. Bart Dude in 3rd. Chiapelli down in 4th ahead of Bossman Sean. Decent 5th place for him. Championship leader Jack only 6th ahead of his teammate Joe, who will be definite rear gunner in this race. Bazza, Chris and James finished the top 10 with Mr. John, Jacko, Michael Kelly and Dom rounding up the rest of the qualifying runners.
Indeed, so going by what Sir Lane has qualified on, we are probably going to be expecting a fully dry race, well at least the start. And there we go, bright blue skies here at Suzuka for what's sure to be a brilliant Grand Prix with Jack Pearson out of position. Jean-Luc Taylor, he's going to want to make his way through the field quite quickly.
Yes, he's going to need to get a good start here. The good news for him is he's got his teammate right behind him, so hopefully for Jack at least he won't have his teammate sticking it up the inside into turn 1 and having a centre cross moment, having both Mercedes on.
And it's lights out and away we go. Actually looks as if Erland might have got the jump on Sir Lane X. They're coming down side by side into the first corner. Can Erland go up the inside? Not be backs out of that. Great start there from Sir Lane. Oh, we've got some cars off in the background. And
we've lost Mercedes and Joe there down to 11th. He's got caught up and he's dropped down to 13th. He's got caught up on the inside, and Bazza went off into turn 1. Looks like he might have had a collision with Jacko, who seems to be very slow at the back of the field. Meanwhile, it was a great start for Jack Pearson, who jumped, well, he's jumped Bart Dude, and he's ahead of Bossman Sean as well, up to 4th already, but Sir Lanix held the lead as Erland just runs a bit wide at the exit of Degner 1. He's followed by Chiapelli, Jack, Bart Dude, and we've got a crash there. It's Bossman Sean, he's in the wall at the exit of Degner 2, and that is the end of his race. The front right wrecked up the exit there as he's hit the wall. And he's actually facing the wrong way, so a pretty hefty whack for him. Meanwhile, Sir Lanix still leads, and it looks like Jack is getting close to the back of Chiapelli in 3rd as we come down to Spoon.
Yeah, let's see if Jack Pearson can get past the Red Bull of Chiapelli on the run down to 130R. You've got to be a brave man to stick it up the inside or even round the outside here. But I think at the moment Jack Pearson's a little bit too far back, but Chiapelli is getting a tow here from Erland, so he could be one to watch as Sir Lane runs a bit wide out of the final corner. So Can Chiapelli go up the inside of Erland? I don't think so, as we see Goings is in the pits with front wing damage there. So he's obviously been in the wars.
Looks like he's had contact on the race director with Chris Johnson as well as AFCB James. It's definitely a front wing change and looks like soft tyres for him. Also in the pits we've got James and Bazza. We've lost Chris Johnson on the first lap due to connection issues. He's got back in down in ninth. And we've had drama. Chiapelli's off the track. Front wing gone.
Yeah, I wonder if that was... I wonder how he's done that. He's maybe just caught on the curb.
I wonder if there's contact with Erland, because Erland has dropped down to P4 behind Bartwood and Jack Pearson, who's gone from 6th to 2nd at the opening lap and a half, so he would be delighted with that start. And we've got yellow flags in sector 3 now, but I think that might just be... Oh, it's Jacko having a spin in the S's by the looks of it, as Goings just passed it for P12. But yeah, I would definitely say there must have been contact between the Toro Rosso of Erland and the Red Bull of Chiapelli. So there'll be some pretty angry faces down at the Red Bull pit lane. Meanwhile, Solanix just building up a little lead now at the P1. Now a second and a half clear of Jack Pearson, who has Aiden close for, well, Bartwood close for company in P3. The two title contenders separate by just 3 points as Jack gets Larry at the exit of the chicane, and that might just give Bartwood the run down the main straight as we start lap 3. DRS enabled now, but obviously not for use yet, as Aiden comes down to turn 1 but isn't close enough to do anything. Meanwhile, the fastest lap's been set by Waite in 5th and Dom in 8th in the Ferrari has got a time penalty, probably cutting the track up the chicane as Chiapelli comes in the pits for what will obviously be a front wing change, and maybe, well, it looks like medium tyres for him. He's going to go all the way to the end of the race by the looks of it.
Yep, obviously getting his front wing changed as well. So that'll be him now to the end of the race, as we see. Yeah, when you go, I think that's Wace off into...
Wace, indeed. It's gone off at the S's. Looks like the same place Jacko went off on lap 2, and there was contact with the wall. The left side of his front wing is damaged, and that will definitely lose him. Well, not only the position he's already thrown away, having spun off and hit the wall, but it'll lose him more time. He's gone off as Degda 2 as well now. Well, just before Degda 2, and Jacko's retired from the back of the field, and he's had a big crash at the pit. I think he's hit the pit wall coming in, you know.
Oh, you could be right.
His front wheel missing, right in the middle of the track. And yes, I can see his front left wheel is actually just on the other side of the pit lane wall. Interesting incident. Anyway, back at the front, Bartley closing in on Jack by the looks of it. Then trying hard to keep up, but dropping back a little bit now. And that looks to be the closest battle fight right now, so one we should stick with. It will have championship ramifications as we see them go through Jacko's stricken car. Surprised there's no safety car for that, to be honest. As Aiden with DRS now running down towards turn 1, he's having a look around the outside. It's not the last lap yet, he can't do a Kimi Raikkonen in 2005 there. As he sits back behind in 3rd. He looks a lot more comfortable than Jack at the moment on the super soft tyres. Both cars are super soft tyres, so they'll be running the same strategy as opposed to the leader Solanix, who is on the soft tyre and just seems to be comfortable out there at the moment in the lead.
Yeah, for sure. And once he sticks on those super soft tyres, that'll be him going into the distance. Not that he already is, but Mr. John, again, the drivers seem to be struggling with this S section today.
Yeah, I did just catch that. Dom Smith and Mr. John coming together there. It was looking like 2 into 1, didn't really go. Dom carried a bit more speed going around the outside. Mr. John up on the inside trying to just take the corner. It just didn't quite work as they went for the same piece of tarmac.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Mr. John, but he's in his favourite position, P7. So yeah, he'll be on for. Is his points record still going? I'm not quite sure, but
I'm afraid it did end due. I think it was a first corner crashing in the first race of season last season. Actually, that ended the points run. So sadly that ended, but it is still a TGP all-time record with well over 100 consecutive points finishes. Meanwhile, Jack right up close to that pit wall on the exit of the last corner. Aiden's got the run on him again. The gap between first and second now 2.2, and Aiden's just not quite got the straight line speed it looks like, even with DRS. I would say he's definitely running higher aero than Jack, who is dropping back a little bit from the leader now as Mr. John has come in. He's got damage in the front right, and that will be a wing change, I would imagine.
Yeah, indeed, he's into the pits. Number 46. What's he putting on now? Seems to be... Is that the Super Soft he's got on again? It does say that on my screen. That would be a bit of a disaster if it was a Super Soft again.
Yeah, it looks like that is indeed the tyre. It's definitely the tyre I got on my screen. And yeah, I think we can confirm that is indeed the Super Soft that he's gone back out on. So he's clearly thinking to stop it again. Well, he's going to have to.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've got yellow flags with James in P14 who's gone off at turn 1.
Oh, that was a good camera shot there. You've just seen James going backwards into turn 1.
And that is a retirement for him. He's called it a day. As Aiden having a run again, but still not quite close enough, I don't believe. Might be an eye up a look here. He's having a look to the inside and just thinks against it.
I'm just waiting for the inevitable. Oh, Jack's in the pits. There we go. That'll set Aiden free for a little while, if I can get my words out.
Lap 5, an undercut, you'd have to say, indeed. Maybe a good idea for Mercedes to have made that call. Because on the soft tyre, that should get him to the end of the race. If you could do 5 laps on the super soft, I think.
Oh, the Sirlane's gone off. Oh, Sirlane's in the wall. Sorry for interrupting. So looks as if Sirlane and Erland have come together at the exit of turn 1. That is, oh wow, that is absolute heartbreak for Sirlane. And now it could be between...
And it's an absolute game changer.
Yeah, now Bart Dude and Jack Pearson now battling for the win. This could get very interesting. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, John. I've just seen the end of it.
We've got another crash at the last chicane. Mr. John's out. He's had a crash. I don't know if he's lost it on the exit 130R there. He's gone all the way down to the chicane. And that's another guy gone from the race. This has been full of drama and accidents so far. We've had the leader now drop it, and I must, considering the gaps, I think Sir Lanix, which I'm afraid I didn't catch it, he must have dropped it, and then as you recover, just collected Erlang, who's got damage himself.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Just caught the end of it, but it's left Sirlane with damage to his front wing, so he will need to come in and change that. But yeah, as you say, this is a big game changer now for... Could we see now, Jack Pearson's all over the place, but could we now see him taking the victory? It's still early, but yeah.
We'll have to see as Aiden comes into pits now from the lead on the from the lead on the super soft tyre. To surely be copying Jack going up to the soft all the way to the end, and it'll be interesting to see where Jack is in comparison. While we focus on the stop as Joe comes in as well on the second Mercedes, although. If the pit lane was swapped around with the Sauber at the far end, that would be some tactic.
Jack's just coming down the start finish straight now. As where is Aiden? Oh, it's going to be very close.
Side by side, nearly, but Jack just holds on.
Oh,
take the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix from Aiden, who it's pretty much status quo. No, not really an undercut or overcut there. They're about the same gap as before. Meanwhile, Joe's coming up pit lane in 5th. If Dom's pitted and will come out down in 7th, Selanex is down to 8th, 9th for Erlan at least. And actually Chiapelli's going to take Erlan's spot in 9th. And Bazza in 10th. The Red Bulls having a bit of a struggle today at the bottom end of the top 10. Although they do get points with the Jose point system. And Erlan, well, he was in up for a podium and it's all just gone away for him. An unfortunate incident has dropped to the back. And it's just not been his day as Jack and Aiden continue their battle half a second apart now. And now stakes are higher than before as they are now fighting for the win of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, and you'll know how frustrating it is to be stuck. You know for yourself how frustrating it is to be stuck behind somebody and you cannot get past them. So I'm sure Aiden will be absolutely fuming in that helmet. Oh, and he's going for it the last corner. I was seeing
that would have been that would have been very opportunistic. And now, but he does have DRS down this straight as Jack sets the fastest lap of the race. Would he have the lead for long though? I think again, just a straight line issue with that Sauber at the moment. Maybe it's just the way Aiden set the car up, but he is down in P2. He stays in P2. But you'd have to say he is harrying Jack along. hopefully maybe just try to eke that mistake out of Jack that he is prone to doing. He's thrown wins away in the past from little mistakes that have cost him time penalties. But Wace has pitted from what I believe would have been about 4th place, and weirdly on, oh there we go, weirdly on my screen has just reset back onto the track and then back into the pits. But yeah, it's all change in the midfield. I think we've got a sense of order now. I think the pit strategies are all complete.
Yep.
So we'll have a quick rundown of the order as we see the 2 leaders running now towards Spoon. We still have Jack Pearson leading the Mercedes ahead of Bart Dudes Sauber, going 9 seconds back on for Toro Rosso. It does say medium tyre on my screen, but the car has soft tyres on, but I'm pretty sure it's medium. The second Mercedes down in 4th of Joe Sayer, ahead of Dom Smith in 5th, who's a long way off. He's just ahead of Sir Lennox, who's on the medium tyre. Then you've got Chiapelli in 7th, who has recovered well after the first lap incident. 8th place Bazza, he's the Red Bull teammate of Chiapelli, ahead of Chris Johnson. I think might have actually managed to get back into the session after an early disconnection in 9th. Wace down in 10th, who's got a time penalty for speeding the pit lane at the last lap. He's down in 10th with Erland in 11th just behind, and Michael Kenny, who pitted in the last lap, down in 12th and last, and all on his own on the super soft tyre.
Yeah, but we've got a nice wee fight going on here between Dom and Sirlane. Just catching that there. Sirlane, I don't know if Dom has passed Sirlane, I'm not quite sure there, but he's definitely wanting to get past, that's for sure. But how long can he go on those tyres, especially with that? Did they change his? Has he been into the pits yet? I think he might have. Yep, he has been into the pits.
Yeah, Sirlane looking very confident at this circuit. He's going to be gutted about the mistake that cost him what was likely an easy win. He was on the opposite strategy to the 2 that are now leading, and was comfortably quicker, I would say. Maybe Jack holding up Aiden a bit early on was helping him just build a little gap, but you'd have to say it was his race for the taking, and well, it's an opportunity that's slipped through his hands. Although you'd have to say it's not going to be long till he gets past the Ferrari of Dom, who just hasn't quite got the same pace here. And I can tell you, Aiden must have made a mistake as well. He's now 3 seconds down. He must have gone wide at Spoon or something, because that gap is still building all the way down the straight.
Yeah, it's
and
possible.
Jack now, well, you'd have to say Jack's got a comfortable lead now as he sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:31.94. It's all just falling into place for him here, really. As the fight for 5th continues on, it's the closest battle on track right now. Though there is a battle for 8th as well. It's Dom versus Sirlane. Round 130R, pretty much 200 mile an hour. Dom gets a time penalty.
Oh.
Running wide at the exit of 130R. That's going to cost him a lot with Chiapelli and Chris Johnson closing in, as well. It looks like Sir Lennox was just let through there.
Yeah, I don't think Dom will be too happy at that penalty. It was a bit harsh in my opinion, just going a little bit wide, but yeah, he's obviously just let Sirlane through, and he can maybe focus as he's going wide again.
Yeah.
It's just
oh, it's all going wrong here. He's spinning, he's off, he's off.
Whoa.
He's missed the wall, he's lost another place to Chiapelli. That's a shame for Dom. He's probably going to lose another one here as he tries to get the grip back in the tyres, as Chris Johnson closes up behind now in 8th. And he's bringing Bazza along with him as well.
Yeah, it's surely not going to be too long now before Chris Johnson gets past Dom. Dom's not looking comfortable on those tyres for some reason, but yeah, still in 7th, so that would be a good points finish if he can keep it there, but he has got that penalty. So where would that drop him to? Probably 9th?
To 9th place.
Oh,
although his cause might be helped by Wace, who's pulled over and retired in the other Ferrari, and that's the end of his race. So only 11 runners left in the race now, as Michael Kenny just passes the stricken Ferrari there, and Chris Johnson having a look at the inside towards 130R. You'd be a brave man to make a move there.
Oh, is he? I thought he was going for that there, but he might get the move done here at the chicane.
I think he's better of it by the looks of it, or maybe he's just setting himself up for the straight, as Dom hit wide on exit, but he did have a good run through the chicane compared to the Force India. But here we are down the straight now. DRS open on the back of the Force India as it looks to the inside. Will he make the move? No. Decides to back out of it and just wait for another lap as Dom just continues to struggle. Maybe it's the tyre life, maybe it's just the Ferrari's performance on that tyre or something, but it's looking painful to see from the onboard of the Force India, like the Ferrari in front, as we have a yellow flag out. We've lost Baza into the gravel up the S's. It was right behind Chris Johnson, and he would have been up. He would have had 8th once Dom got his penalty, but alas, not to be. Down to 10th he goes. Cup to be ahead of 11th place though, as he will try and get back up to speed and clean those tyres up. Meanwhile, at the front, Jack has a 2.8 second lead over Bart Dude, who's closing a little bit, but nowhere near enough. The mistake he made really costing him any chance of victory, and you'd have to say Bart Dude looked to be the quicker guy, but it's just not quite fallen for him. The mistake costing him for sure.
Yeah, Aiden just pushing too hard and made that mistake. We're assuming it's Spoon corner, and he'll be definitely ruined that one, because he was looking a lot racier than Jack at the moment, but Jack has kept his head cool and looks to be on course now for the win, but there is still 1.5 laps to go, so we all know what Jack's like.
Meanwhile, the fight for 7th's building up again. Chris just not committing to the move on the inside at turn 1. He's got the speed down the straights, but that might just help him a little bit there. The Ferrari going off and Chris getting 7th place. Maybe he was just thinking that he had the penalty, he had the place anyway because of Dom's penalties, and well, in the end he didn't have to make the move. Dom just opened the door for him, and Chris was just happy to walk right through it. Meanwhile, I'll tell you what, Aiden is pushing on this second to last lap. He's just gained a second so far. As Jack comes into the last chicane to start the final lap. It's 1.8 now. It was 2.8 at the end of the last lap. Maybe Jack just takes it a little bit easy, or Aiden just absolutely going for it.
Yep, Aiden is on rich mix, so he is absolutely going for it. He's not got much fuel left though, Jean-Luc Taylor, so he might be able to run rich for the rest of the lap, but he's definitely on the limit at the moment. But
yeah, he's given it absolutely everything he can by the looks of it to just close in, maybe make a run towards 130R. Maybe he's going to just do something brave or incredibly stupid to just steal this win away. This runs a bit wide at Degda too, that's going to cost a little bit, but he's getting close to that DRS thing, but it doesn't really matter at this point because there is no more DRS detection spots on for the race as it's down the pit straight itself. Meanwhile, Goings having a couple of race up to 3rd as Michael Kilkenny is out of the race. He's had a crash up the exit 130R, so yellow flags out there will pretty much end any chance of oh, I don't believe it! Jack's disconnected on the last lap of the race. He's just giving it to Aiden on a plate.
What was I saying?
Oh, that's sensational.
I think that's what you call a commentator's curse from myself there. Oh, ouch.
And Aiden overtakes for the lead on the last chicane.
Dom's
gone as well.
Yeah, there you go then. Bart Dude takes victory on the very last lap after Jack Pearson's disconnection. Wow. That's all I can say to that, Sean. Wow.
I am astonished at what I've just witnessed. Something I've fallen foul of myself in the past, sadly. It can happen at any time, although I like in the old days of TGP and the older F1 games, once you're disconnected, your car was gone, so it could have been worse for Jack, but he would be devastated at losing the win in that sort of fashion. As Going takes 3rd in the Toro Rosso, Joe takes 4th place for the Mercedes team ahead of Sir Lennox, who ends up 5th after the mistake early on. Chiapelli, a good recovery after lap 1 to 6th. Chris Johnson, despite his disconnection issues, will now take 7th ahead of Erlan in 8th. Going to be 9th place for Dom. And rounding up the top 10, last finisher, Baza. Incredible.
Wow, I do not have any words for that. How unlucky can someone be on Oh wow. It does still finish second, but he will be devastated at that. I definitely would be, but wow. What a crazy race that was, Jean-Luc Taylor. That was insane.
Indeed. A lot of incidents, a lot of drama, and a possible huge moment for the championship, as I think now, for the first time in a, well, maybe the first time this season, but the first time in a while, Aiden is the championship leader. He hasn't, I don't think he's led at all this season. It's actually, I believe, his third win in a row now, and the momentum is what a truly on his side. And maybe just a little rub of the green as well with that last lap.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
Incredible.
I have no words, absolutely no words for that. But there we go. There is the final rundown. It's Bartwood who takes the win. That would be his third win on the bounce then, as Jean-Luc said there. Jack Pearson will be gutted. He should have won that race, but he does come home to finish in second, with Goings in third. Joe, good result there, up from 7th to finish in 4th, with Sir Lane again, another casualty. He could have easily have took the win as well, but I think he ran wide at the exit of the first corner. Chiapelli takes 6th, with Chris Johnson in 7th. Erland finishes in 8th, with who Waste that was in 9th? Dom in 9th.
It was Dom in 9th, yeah.
Baza in 10th. Michael Kenny and the Renault in 11th. There's Waste there in 12th. Mr. John, James, Jacko, Bossman Sean round out the field. So, I think where are we off to next? I think it's Russia next, aren't we, Jean-Luc Taylor?
I believe that is the case. And Russia, well, we've had some interesting races there in the past, and I'm sure another exciting one will await us.
Yeah.
I'm just astonished by what happened there. I could not believe it when I saw that notification pop up at the bottom of the screen at the exit of Spoon. Jack disconnected from the lead.
It's like that. I know it's a different circumstance, but it's like that Monaco race, like in the 80s, where nobody wanted to like win the race. You had Sir Lane in the lead. Sir Lane in the lead. He crashed. Jack disconnected. It's as if nobody wanted to win that, but Aiden took it with both hands, and yeah, as you say, now he's the championship.
Yes, so I've just received a message from Jack, and the reason he disconnected was because his game crashed.
Oh no, Jack!
Astonishing. So not his own fault at all. Just wow.
I mean, of all places, on the final lap, just before 1:30R, and it disconnects. Honestly, what are the chances of that happening? But bad luck for Jack. But we do have another 2 races tonight, so hopefully he can gain some ground back. But it is Russia and strict corner cutting, so I'm sure Jack will be racking up some penalties, as he normally does. But yeah, James in the chat says #esportsreddit. Good old James there.
I'm wondering if that may have happened to a few people, because we also lost Dom, didn't we, at the last lap as well, well, we lost Mike in qualifying, and that's not the first time that's happened to him this season. He got pole in Austria, and the game decided to give him the old boot out. And we've had... It's happened in the past. It's still happening now, which I find astonishing. I mean, we've had it happen. We've had random disconnections decide championships in the past. There was a TGP Xbox season where one of the drivers about to win the championship got disconnected and lost it. And it's before myself in TGP1 before, where I had a 25-point lead at the start of the final round and promptly disconnected on the grid. So it happens to pretty much everyone at one time or another, and it's never a pleasant experience to fight so hard for a good position or a possible race win, only for the game to kick you out of it and cost you.
Yeah, well, I've never really been in that situation, so luckily for me, I don't know how that feels, but yeah, I'm sure Jack's going to empathise with you at the moment.